Hello everyone, on the side note before I start my video here is that I'm sorry I haven't seen the movie Fast and Furious 7 yet. I've been meaning to see it, I haven't seen it yet. I want to take my friends to see that with me. But in the cancellation of that, I haven't seen it yet. But I've seen the movie It Follows, and I'm basically here to give you that movie's review and basically what I think about the movie It Follows. Now, if you don't know this movie is basically all about STD. And I'm kind of here, and basically the story is basically almost like, well, I'm reading it off the internet right here, and that sounds very, very low in a way, but it's like, it's following a strange sexual encounter, a teenager who I'm sure I haven't seen before. Pretty much has disturbing visions and an inconceivable feeling of someone or something is after her. And it does paint a fact of almost like this Hitchcockian feeling, almost like having the whole eyes on you feeling, the whole sense of all attention is on you, someone's watching you. It's almost like that type of feeling. And I do like that. The movie greatly portrays it in a really good way, and almost, like I said, very Hitchcockian in a way. It really reminds me of the old 70s and 80s thrillers from the era, which this film does homage, and it does show kind of some kind of good type of resemblance to it. It's not obvious, but it's well enough for you to be almost like appreciating it at points. And I'm just like, okay, it's almost like Halloween, and then it's like The Thing at times. I do like that. It really does summarize and again really honors the past of horror films. And with all that, I do think there's some actually really strong acting in this movie. The main girl, who I see right here, Micah Monroe. You're not going to remember her, and I don't care. The thing is that she gives a pretty good performance. She actually gives a pretty damn good performance in my mind. And she actually does lend a lot of likability to her character. She's strong, she's independent, she's free thinking. She's really, really strong, and she really sells those really dramatic moments where it's like a bunch of those really tense and dark and really almost like life-defining moments in the movie where it was really happy and hammered down. She really knows how to take on that environment. And all these clever ideas of sexual encounters and almost like STD in a way, and almost like if that was this, like if it was a disease, but the aspect of that almost like haunting of it, the presence in your mind, and almost like having a real damaging effect on you, like mentally, and it's like completely blowing up. And I thought it did it really good. And before anything else I'll say is that I've seen a lot of advertisements for this movie. They're saying it's like the scariest movie in years, the scariest. It's really not that scary, to be honest. And the rating it has on Rotten Tomatoes is a bit too high, in my opinion. It has like on a critics reception side of Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 90. Fucking 90. And while I'm not regarding this movie as bad, it's not. It's anything but bad. It's smart. It's well made. It really does contributes well. But I don't think it's revolutionary, and I don't think it's really pushing the boundaries. I'm not saying the film is playing it safe, but it's doing something inspired and kind of original, but it's still not really changing it. The film may probably know that already, but I'm just saying, I feel like there's nothing special here. It's like, it's new, and it does give something new, which is my number one principle for any film. It's like, when I see a film, the one thing I expect, show me something new. Show me something that I haven't seen before. And this film does have that, but it does have those moments where it does homage all the old type of 70s and 80s films. It does kind of overbury it at times, and I do think I'm not saying it's overly original, because this film is like a great big balance of like paying homage and respect to original films like Halloween, The Thing, The Shining, and all the sort of films, but yet it's also trying to be its own certain type of thing with like the whole sexual encounter and the whole eyes on you feeling, and I do really get that, and it does play that pretty smartly at times. But I do think it's a constant battle between being original and being respectful for the past of the whole genre. And I do think there's a great big balance of that, but with some real technical good things like good writing, good story, good acting, good characters who do carry it through. But my big problem with the film, which I've already addressed, and I bear repeating myself, is that I don't think it's really. And granted, people may not expect it, and the filmmakers may not expect it to be changing anything. But I do think it's very light on scares, and it does rely on much more of the sense of build-up more than anything else in the film. And I do think at times that can get a little bit weary for me and a bit more of the casual viewer. Like, I cannot represent anyone's opinion except my own here. So in the end, I feel like this film is a technically good film, but it does have some pretty big problems at times, and I do think overall it does have some pros and cons overall. But in my view, overall, It Follows is a pretty good horror movie for what you're worth to see. And if you like smart, well-made films, smart and well-made horror films, then this is pretty much almost on the same level that I would definitely recommend it. Like, this is kind of like this decade's maybe kind of the Ring, maybe like that type of building on level of suspense. Like, I'm not comparing it to the Ring, because the Ring film is millions of times better than this film. I'm just saying. But overall, this movie has good pros and cons in the end. But in the end, I'm going to give this film, It Follows, a 65%. It's not great. In my view, it's not great. It's not anything great, but it's not bad. And I think it's a decent overall. In my view, overall, it's a decent, well-made film that is well worth your time and effort to see. And of course, as always, you will draw your own conclusions to it. As far as I'm concerned, you can just say your opinion freely here on the internet, and I'm all around happy with that, everyone. And thank you for watching my review of the movie It Follows, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed it. And as always, thank you for watching. You can click to subscribe and express your thoughts down below. And as always, everyone, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the future for more reviews. Till then.